Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another Building Better Business webinar. This is a FASOMA program designed to educate AP practitioners on different aspects of running a business and attracting new patients. It can also connect you to knowledgeable resources for gaining more knowledge. Thank you for joining us again, and my name is Natalia Morrison. I am the Director of Communications here at FASOMA, and just like you, I am also a licensed acupuncturist. Today's episode is crafting your core message to attract more new patients. And our guest speaker tonight is Jeffrey Grossman from Acupuncture MediaWorks. Now, before we begin, let's go over some housekeeping. This episode is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel to see all our videos and be notified when new webinars are posted. Please note the information shared in today's episode by the speaker is for educational purposes only. The views expressed by the speaker are those of the speaker and not necessarily those of FASOMA. We will be holding questions until the end of tonight's presentation. Please submit your questions in the Q&A icon found in the bottom of your screen. So without further ado, Jeffrey, thank you for joining us tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Natalia, and everybody else who is joining us here today. It's my pleasure, as always, to show up and support FASOMA in helping practitioners build back better and build a better practice by tapping into business and marketing strategies. I wish that other associations really created this kind of thing for their fellow members. So for all of you members who are part of FASOMA, this is such a gift for your membership, or the people who run the membership, to bring to you, because it is something that is much needed in building a practice, right? So school gave us all the tools that we need to be amazing diagnosticians, but they often fell short in giving us all the tools that's needed to build a better business and keep our patients in care and all the things that's needed in order to create income, to build a practice, and all of those things. So thank you so much for joining me here today. My name is Jeffrey Grossman, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And like Natalia said, if there are questions, you can hold them until the end, and I will get to them as soon as we can. All right, so sit tight. Take out a piece of paper, take out a pen or a pencil or your iPad and start taking notes, but close your Facebook, shut your phone down, and let's stay focused for the next 45 to 60 minutes, because this information that I'm sharing with you today is powerful, and it can absolutely change the course of your practice. For those of you that are here for this specific topic, the core message, stay tuned. This is really important. Okay, this has the ability to give you the tools that will allow you to stand out from your competition. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, share my screen with you. And here we are. Crafting your core message that helps you stand out from your competition. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jeffrey Grossman. I'm the president and owner of Acupuncture MediaWorks, AcuPerfect websites, and AcuDownloads. I've taught classes in just about all types of marketing over the years. Quick background about me. Way back before I became an acupuncturist, I was in the advertising and graphic design field, and I left that in 1998. I started that in 98, and I left that when I decided that I needed to go to acupuncture school because of a series of events that occurred in my life that made me seek out acupuncture for my own well-being. And I graduated acupuncture school in 1997. I started Acupuncture MediaWorks in 2002, where we make marketing tools and printed products for you. Mainly started that because there were not the type of marketing tools and patient education products that I wanted to hand out to my own patients. So with my background in advertising and graphic design, I started Acupuncture MediaWorks. From that, we launched AcuPerfect websites in 2010, and we've launched AcuDownloads in 2014, and have just revamped AcuDownloads in this year and launched it with a beta group a few months ago, and it's amazing. It is a digital library that gives you all the tools that you need, from social media graphics to clinic forms to newsletters to MailChimp templates to all the things that's needed for you to build your practice in this new modern age. We're basically taking everything that's in our print version from Acupuncture MediaWorks and turning it into AcuDownloads, digital versions for you to use. I've spoken at conferences. I've even taught a 65-hour practice management class at Middleway Acupuncture School in Mount Vernon, Washington. So grateful and blessed that they have the knowledge and ability to have somebody teach that kind of class. 65 hours of practice management. That's amazing. That was beautiful. And that is what I wish all schools were offering. And over the years, I've taught over 477 hours of business and marketing and online and training. So here tonight, I'm here to share some of that knowledge, some of that wisdom, some of that insight with you. And hopefully from that, you'll get one or two pieces of inspiration and insights that you could go and integrate into your practice right away, because I'm here on this Monday night sharing this information with you because I only want one thing to happen. I want you to go out there and grow your practice and change the world one person, one needle at a time. So maybe it's more than one thing, okay? But I basically am here to support you in some business building skills that that I think are important for you to grow your practice. And your core message that allows you to stand out from your competition is powerful. So if you don't have one, stay tuned, because at the end of this training, excuse me, hopefully you will have developed enough of an idea and a sense around how to craft your own core message. All right, so let's just jump right in here. So what you're going to learn about your ideal patients and why it's important to identify who your ideal patients is. We're going to learn about defining your differentiator, whatever that means. I'm going to show you with whatever that means and how you can do that. And I'm going to talk with you about what makes people buy from you. And we're going to talk about crafting your core marketing message. So this training is about changing your life and your income, and giving you just one or two ideas can transform your practice. For most of us, marketing may seem hard, it may seem really frustrating, and it's something that we absolutely might shy away from. But since you're here tonight, since you're joining us and you're watching this training, you are above those who have fear of this kind of thing, because you're here. You want to show up to these webinars, to these trainings, to learn more about how you can increase your skills. So we went to schools to become a healer, and to help people, to help change their lives, and to give them a different approach to health and well-being. We didn't go to school to become an entrepreneur or an accountant or a marketing guru or a salesperson. But the honest truth is that you have to wear those two hats, the hat of a healer and the hat of an entrepreneur, and you know, in order to get those things done. Because who else is going to do your billing? Who else is going to manage your marketing? Who's going to support your scheduling? Who's going to help make the calls? Who's going to give treatment plans? And who's going to be all these things to help you run your practice? It's you, my friend. You are that person that wears two hats, three hats, four hats, five hats in order to be successful in practice. And I'm sorry they didn't tell you that when you went to acupuncture school, but you could be the best diagnostician, but you also need these kind of skills that we're going to be talking about here tonight, and what Natalia will probably be sharing with you moving forward in some of the other trainings through FASOMA. So, you know, in this crazy distracted world, you have to have reliable ways and good communication strategies that are reproducible and that help you consistently attract patients on a regular basis and help you stay in top of mind awareness. So when you spend that time and that energy of bringing new patients into your practice, and when they fall out of care, they can, it takes them longer to fall out of care, that you keep them in care longer because you're educating them, you're inspiring them, and you are staying in top of mind awareness. So when something comes up, they know who to turn to, which is you, because you offer a unique solution that you can get across in your core message. Okay. What we're going to learn about today is going to make your life 1,000 times easier, and it's going to give you an incredible sense of relief, because now you'll have a clearer message that's going to be easier for you to communicate. Okay. So humor me for a minute. If I came up to you at a party and asked you what it is that you do, what would you say? Right? Like I'd be curious. If you want to put in your chat box, if I came up to you and I said, hey, how's it going? What are you doing for a living? And what would you say? Right? So most practitioners would be like, hey, yeah, I'm an acupuncturist, and I have an acupuncture practice and I help people get out of pain. That's cool. That's good. That's important to get across, but it doesn't really talk about these aspects that are part of creating a core message. Okay. If you were to ask your patients when they came off a treatment table, and you could try this tomorrow, hey, if somebody ran into you or somebody came up to you at a workshop or in the office, and they asked you, what does your acupuncturist do? Or can you tell me about your acupuncturist? What would you say? This is you asking your patients that question, right? You'd be surprised about what patients one might say. They might say something similar to, I don't know. They put me on the table, they put a couple needles in me, I get off the table, I feel really good, and I leave and I'm doing all right. Right? Or I don't know, they put needles in me, I kind of pass out for a little bit and I leave there feeling like I'm floating on cloud 9. That's all cool. And that's all great. And that's probably exactly what happens. But that isn't going to get more patients into your practice. That isn't going to stimulate and generate a ton of word of mouth referrals for you, right? So it's important for you to have communication strategies down. And by crafting your core message, the first thing to do is to really understand who your ideal patient is. So who is your a patient, right? And what are they all about, right? So who are your potential patients? How are you going to reach them? What is the biggest need or challenge that this person needs? And how can your services address their needs? And why would they choose you over the competition, right? So these are questions that you should be asking yourself as we go through tonight's training. And these are questions that will hopefully be answered when you start crafting your core message. And we're not going to be crafting your core message here tonight. That's a workshop that we could jump into at some point. But that is going to be like a 2 or 3 hour workshop that really helps you define what your core message is. It's not something that we're going to be jumping deep into. It's an overview, 30,000-foot approach to what your core message is. So nobody has a product or service that everyone will want or use or even become aware of. It just doesn't happen. So most practitioners, what they do is they just cast a wide and open net, then hope that everyone will come see them. But it's important to know specifically who you are communicating to, right? For instance, if you are a practice that deals with athletes, you are going to communicate with athletes differently than when you talk about people who are trying to get pregnant, right? Who are infertile. Or you'll be communicating with people who are athletes differently than people who you're communicating with who are suffering from migraines, right? So that's important to know who exactly your A patient is, the ideal patient that you want to work with, and the ideal patient that your services can help support, right? So do you guys have an idea of who your A patient is? One way to think about that is when you look at your schedule, and you see all the patients on your schedule, and you see, particular patients, and you're like, oh man, I'm so psyched to see them. They're coming in this week. And then you look down your schedule, you're like, oh man, that's going to be tough. Whew, I can muster up some energy to work with them again. Okay, I can do this, right? So when you think about who your ideal patient is, there's two ways to look at this. One is, how does your energy shift when you see them on your schedule, right? Like, boy, I want more of those patients when your energy raises and goes up, right? As opposed to when you look at the schedule and you see patients and you're like, oh my God, I can do this. I just need a little bit of stimulation and some motivation to make this happen. And then you just kind of push through that process, right? So you want to work with those people who raise your energy and think about that. And when you think about that, also think about ideally what it is those patients are coming to see you for, right? Are they coming to see you for a specific offering that you have, that only you offer the solution to, right? That's the important piece. What is the solution that only you have to offer? Even though you're an acupuncturist, your friend's an acupuncturist, you got an acupuncturist down the street, you're working with another acupuncturist, your chiropractor practices acupuncture, right? What is unique about you and your services that only you can provide? Okay, that's going to be an important piece about going through tonight. You might not have an answer about that, but a couple things that I'm going to share with you right now might help you define that. And so a couple of things to keep in mind as we go through tonight's training is, what are you marketing? Like, what are you marketing? Are you marketing acupuncture? Are you marketing pain services? Are you marketing longevity, infertility? Are you marketing migraine treatments? Okay. And also, who are your competitors? Okay. And this is one of the most things that you have to ask is, what are you marketing, right? Are you offering transformation? Are you offering stress reduction? Are you a spa? Okay. What makes you unique and different? And these are the first steps to defining why who you are and why folks should choose you as the go-to practitioner. And you can do this by doing a little bit of research. And one of the things that's really important when I talk about, when I teach the practice management class, is really identifying your SWOT analysis. I don't know if any of you have ever done a SWOT analysis, but if you haven't, it is an important piece of getting your analyzing and getting a framework for your practice's strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your strengths, so that you could build on what you do well, and that you can also see the areas where your practice is lacking and then build on those, and then also where you can minimize any risk, and then all of this can provide you and set you up for the possibility of greater success. Okay, so a SWOT will help you guide you through different ups and downs, like we've gone through over the past few years, understanding where your strengths are, where your weaknesses lie, what opportunities are that you have afforded to you, and what your threats are. So I'm just going to review that really quickly. And so this is basically a SWOT analysis, right? What do you do well? What's unique resources can you draw on in your practice? And what do others see as your strength? Okay. Where are your weaknesses? What can you improve on? Where do you have fewer resources than others? And what are others likely to see as weaknesses in your practice? Opportunities. What opportunities are open to you? What trends could you take advantage of? How can you turn your strengths into opportunities? One of the trends that I saw come out of COVID is helping people improve their immune system. And voila, acupuncture, as you guys know, is really successful at helping to boost the immune system, right? So why not use that as an opportunity to position yourself as maybe an immune enhancement clinic or offer immune enhancement protocols? That's an opportunity that you guys could tap into. What other threats are out there that could harm you? what's your competition doing that you could be doing or should be doing, or that they might be doing to be pulling patients from you, who could be seeing you over to them, and what threats do your weaknesses expose you to? Okay, so all of these things, understanding your SWOT analysis helps you identify your unique selling position, right, which is what sets you apart from your competition, which is your unique differentiator. Okay, so developing your differentiator, what it is, it's basically a clear statement of three things, right? How your business or your practice is different from everyone else's in the market or down the street or in the neighborhood or in your town, right? What makes you different, my friends? How are you different, stand out from the different acupuncturists down the street, right? And then how can you better meet your customers or your patients' needs? What can you offer them that is unique and different only to you and to your practice? Well, maybe you offer gentle needling. Maybe you offer Japanese style needling. Maybe you just do Korean hand acupuncture. Maybe you do offer, maybe your clinic is beautiful and spa-like, and when people enter it, they feel like they're already transformed because the space is so welcoming and beautiful and sweet, right? And then what makes you special, or why should they buy or choose your services over you instead of your competition? Okay, so these are three things that are important when crafting your core message that you have to keep in mind. All right, so crafting your core message that helps you stand out from your competition. So I've been in this industry for a long time, like 22, 24 years. And I've worked with so many types of practitioners, but the bottom line is that we were never trained as entrepreneurs or business professionals, right? We've got the skills, mind you, we're amazing pulse diagnosticians, tongue viewers and needlers and cuppers and all those things, but not many of us have those business chops that are required to run a business. So give us herbs, we're great. Give us marketing talks or health fairs, and whoa, we want to just run the other way. So along this line, that most practitioners, they struggle how to communicate what they offer. And that, my friends, is very sad, because what you have to offer is life-changing. You change lives every single day. Every time you put a needle into a body, pew, wow, transformation happens. It might not be immediate, it might not be profound, but shift happens, right? So you've got a lot to offer this world. So let's figure out today how you can shout your message from the treetops that you're awesome, that your medicine is amazing, that you change lives every day, and that you can help so many people with common problems. All right. So let me go ahead and ask you this question there. Is your message that you're communicating helping customers understand how you can help them survive and thrive? So do you have a message out there in the world that is communicating to people that you are here to help them survive and thrive? Do you have, what is it? Is it not at all? Is a 1? Absolutely is a 10. Where do you fall within this? So I'd be curious, you can feel free to put things in the chat box. I don't know if that's really happening, but are you a 1? Are you a 10? Or where do you fall for that? And can your customers name the main problem that your company, that your practice solves if you ask them, right? So again, this is going back to having that clear message, or asking your patients, if somebody approached you at a party, what would you say to them? So can your patients name the main problem that your practice solves if you ask them? 1, not at all. 10, absolutely. Put it in the chat box. Curious about that. And then, is your message clear and simple? Maybe you don't even have one at all. So if you don't, it's not very clear and it's not very simple. But today, hopefully, we will help you identify a clear and simple message. All right. So people don't buy the best products, right? They buy the ones that are communicating the clearest. Okay. And this is from Donald Miller, who has an amazing book out there on story brand. And if you guys don't know about Donald Miller, I would jot it down on a piece of paper, check out Donald Miller and Google him and find all the things that he has out there in the world, because his stuff is amazing and powerful. If your competitor has an inferior service, but they're a better communicator, who's going to win? If they are better out marketing, who's going to win the patients, right? If they can communicate better, more clearly, they're going to beat you to that next patient that's looking for care, because prospects never knew that you had a better service because it's not clearly communicated to them. And they never knew that you are the one for them, or that you have that solution that they're looking for. So you've got to really figure out how to clearly communicate to that. You have to directly communicate with your prospects, and that your services can help them survive and thrive. And that's what people want, right? Their primitive brain is saying, when they find someone, are they going to help me? Are they going to hurt me? Is that going to help me? Or is that going to hurt me? That's what the primitive brain thinks, right? So quite literally, if you're not communicating about your services, it's not that's not directly helping people survive and thrive. And I don't mean like survive like they're overboard on a ship and they have to survive on an island or something like that. Or I'm talking about overcoming their most pressing pain that keeps them up at night. And I don't mean pain like back pain, allergies, or whatever it is. It could be, I want a baby and I'm infertile, or my migraines are going to keep me from presenting my webinar next week, and I need to overcome that. Whatever their main pain point is, that's what it is that you have to directly relate to them, that you can help them survive through whatever that problem is and thrive coming out the other end. Okay. It's built into our DNA. People are listening with this primitive part of our brain. And, are you going to help me get ahead? Are you going to help me be strong? Are you going to help me make more money? And in our case, are you going to help me overcome my pain or my headache or whatever it is that they have? They're always looking for ways to survive and thrive. And they're trying to figure out, who is that person that's going to help me do it? And my friends, I want that to be you. Okay. I want you to be that person for them. Okay. So tell me what it is that you do, right? I don't know that you can actually tell me here the way it's set up for this webinar, but what do you actually do? And most of you might say, I'm an acupuncturist and I help people, with shoulder pain and back pain and allergies. That's great, but that doesn't really address the problem, what your unique solution is, and what my life would look like afterwards. And I'm going to share with you a couple core messages that we've developed through the companies that I run. And through these core messages, hopefully you'll be able to see where the parts of what makes up a core message, and how to integrate these core messages into your own life. Okay. So before I move on, I want to talk with you about one more thing, and it's called the curse of knowledge. When the lightning happens and lights flash right here, right? So this curse of knowledge is you and I and Natalia and everyone in Fasoma hanging out and talking shop, right? That's the thing. We know all about chi and energy and feng shui and the way that the body reacts when certain things are happening to it. And we've got all this knowledge that we've been trained for 4 years or more in school learning about, right? We're intimately connected to the medicine in our practice. We live it, we love it, we breathe it, and we could talk hours about it, if not days about it, about yin and yang and excess and deficiency and treatments and protocols and all the things, because we know it inside and out. But often we project that knowledge onto our customers and we assume that they know what we're talking about. that they know more than they actually do. And what we have to do is simplify that and make it easier for our clients and our patients to really understand why they would need your services. And it's got to be broken down into very simplistic terms in order to really have people start engaging with you. And one of the things that's really important that people's brains are thinking about, and that goes back to that whole primitive thing of, is this going to help me or is this going to hurt me, is what's in it for me. Okay. What's in it for me? And this is what people think about all the time. They want to know what's in it for me. And what's in it for me is made up of three things. Okay. Every patient wants to know, to have these three things answered before they choose you. The thing that your prospects are concerned about is, what's in it for me? And it breaks down into these different parts. Here's what I want right now, right? I want to get out of pain maybe, or I want to get pregnant and start having a baby. How do I get it, right? How can you help me, right? And what is my life going to happen after I get care with Jeffrey, right? I want my back pain to go away. How could that possibly get done? What will my life look like after my back pain goes away? What can I start doing again that I wasn't able to do? So every single thing we do in our lives works with what's in it for me. When you order food, what's in it for me? Well, I can order this. What's in it for me? It's going to taste like this. And how will I feel afterwards? You know, if I eat that big bag of chips versus that smoothie, you know, what's my choice? What's my life going to look like? What's going to happen next after that? Okay. So everything that we do, everything our patients process through is, here's what I want. I want to get out of pain. How do I find that in my life, right? What's going to give that to me? And what's my life going to look like afterwards? And these are core concepts to think about as you go through crafting your core message. So jumping right in, let's go into the 3 steps to crafting your core message. Step number 1 is to identify the problem, right? Start off by stating the problem or the pain point that your ideal prospect has. Now, I don't mean like actual pain, unless you're actually a pain doctor and you treat actual pain, but there are other things that your patients are staying awake with at night. So in this step, what you have to identify is that your customer and the major problem that you help them eliminate. So this is where you identified that need or that challenge that only you address. So where is life painful or uncomfortable for them? What's bothering them? And because of that, what are they not able to do in their life, right? So like maybe they're not able to play with their grandkids or start a family or get specific, but keep it concise, right? So if they have back pain, they might not be able to play with their grandkids, right? That's a problem. They've got back pain. They can't play with their kids. That's their problem. If they're infertile, they're stressed out. They're not able to get pregnant. They can't have a family. They're not happy. That's the problem, okay? So when someone asks you what you do, our habit usually is to like give them a very direct, not very compelling answer. And, that's not what you want to do, right? So the thing that you want to do is you really want to encourage people to, you want to sort of describe to them in normal language that they can really understand about the problem that you help solve. So let's say, for instance, you worked with a lot of Ironman athletes. You might say, you know how a lot of marathon runners and triathletes complain a lot about knee pain and hip pain, right? That's the opening line, right? The pain problem is marathon runners complain about knee pain and hip pain, right? So what we're doing here is you're saying that you work with Ironman athletes and marathoners, and you do something that deals with pain. And you're not just talking about back pain, you're talking about hip pain and knee pain. So you're helping that potential customer right? That potential athlete or that Ironman person get on the map, and you're drawing them into the conversation because you're speaking their language. And so once you establish that this problem, this idea of what's going on with them, then you sort of move them through this process of like what your unique solution is, and then what their life can look like afterwards. And we keep coming back to this scenario as we go on. Okay, so here's another one. So going back to the whole pregnancy, back to pregnancy, I'm sorry. So you could say, you know how pregnant women have back pain and it keeps them from really staying as active as they want to late in their labor, in their pregnancy. So, that's the problem. Women who are pregnant have back pain and they can't stay as active as they want to be late into their pregnancy. That's a problem, right? So what's unique about you and that you can offer for that solution? Okay, so going through some of the scenarios with acupuncture with the companies that I run is most acupuncturists don't like marketing and have no idea how to bring in new patients, right? That's the problem. The pain point is that most acupuncturists don't like marketing and they have no idea how to bring in new patients. Okay, so I'm just going to hit that up later on. The other part is that most, with AcuDownloads, most acupuncturists are not great writers, and they're not good designers, and they're not tech savvy. So that's the problem, right? So we offer that solution for them. Okay, so and I'm going to share with you different solutions for acupuncturists. So, for example, the problem with acupuncturists is too many people struggle with pain and injuries. Okay. Here's another example. We offer unique and individualized evaluations and treat injuries with Twina, cupping and acupuncture. And another example is people are tired of taking pills. So here's what we offer. Okay. That's the pain. People are tired of taking pills. Okay. So I'm going to go back to these as we move on. I'm just hitting that first sentence because when we want to talk about identifying the problem, it's really literally creating your core message. It's just 3 simple sentences. Okay, so I'm just going to be hitting those sentences as we go along. So step 1, identify the problem. Okay, step 2 is to offer your unique solution. So now that you started bringing them in and start addressing what their particular problem is, it's time to kind of start letting them know what solution that you have that to their particular problem or pain that they're experiencing. And again, when I say pain, I don't mean a specific type of pain. What, their marketing terms is what's a person's pain point, what keeps them up at night, why, what are they really looking for in that way. And in this respect, what is your unique solution and approach, right? How is it that you are different from the next acupuncturist down the street? So what makes you different and unique about what it is that you do and only you do? Okay, so going back to the athlete, the athlete scenario is, how Ironman athletes and marathoners complain of knee pain and hip pain, and it keeps them from winning a race? Well, we do a full assessment on their injury and help them understand what's really going on with them. And we perform acupuncture and topical herbal treatments to eliminate pain. Okay, that's what you do. That's what every acupuncturist does, but you're expressing that in a really succinct message. And again, so I will share this again with you. So the problem is, how Ironman athletes and marathon runners complain of knee pain and hip pain? Well, we do a full assessment of their injury. That's unique, right? Even though every acupuncturist do it, you're verbalizing it in a really succinct way. We do a full assessment of their injury and help them understand what's really going on with them. And then we perform acupuncture and apply topical herbal treatments to eliminate that pain. Okay. And again, going back to the pregnancy, the women pregnant, you know how pregnant women complain of back pain late in pregnancy? Well, and that they can't stay as active as they want to. Well, we help with an evaluation and a specific massage along with acupuncture treatments to allow them to blah, 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 blah. Okay. So that your unique solution, even though every acupuncturist offers it, is that you give them a unique evaluation and specific massage along with acupuncture treatment that allow them to the next step is what I'm going to talk about you there. So you're offering them that solution, right? So what is it that your client wants to get rid of now? And what do they want you to what do they want you to do in your treatments? So your solution has to be compelling enough and that they're willing to put up with all this poking and prodding and stretching, right? So how do you write your solution as a one-liner? And it's when you get to this point, when you get to writing your core message, you can write it down in 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 sentences and then keep refining it. When I work with my clients on crafting their core message, we work from a higher level and spend a while identifying what their patient problems are and identifying their ideal patients, and then really coming up with like what makes them unique. And I'm working with one client who is specializing in fertility, and we're coming up with a core message for each of the 5 different stages of a woman's life cycle that we've identified that she is working with unique protocols on. And it's beautiful and it's amazing. And I'm really excited for what's happening there. And this is what you guys should all be doing as well. Okay, so going back to the core messages for the companies I run. So most acupuncturists don't like marketing and have no idea how to bring in new patients, right? That's the pain. And the unique solution that Acupuncture MediaWorks offer is we offer a wide range of business, marketing, and online solutions. That's what we do. That solves that unique problem. Even though a ton of other companies offer business and marketing and online solutions, but we're expressing it to you in a way that gets across to you. With AcuDownloads, most acupuncturists are not great writers. They're not good designers. They're not even tech savvy. That's the problem, right? So we hired a team of expert writers and creative designers and computer geniuses to create high quality, professional, and cost-effective social media and patient education solutions. Okay, that is our unique solution. Okay, going back to these examples, right? Too many people struggle with pain and injuries. We provide effective treatment that allows you to perform well in life, sports, and work. Okay, that is the solution. Even though every acupuncturist does that, what you do is you provide a unique and effective treatment that allows you to perform well in life, sports, and work. Okay, the other solution, so the pain problem here is we offer unique and individualized evaluations and treat injuries with TWENOM. Okay, so the problem is you treat injuries. Everyone treats injuries, but you do it with TWENOM, cupping, and acupuncture so that our practice members can go out and win their next race and feel great. I'm skipping ahead there because that last part is about what their life will look like after they come see you. And then this other one is the pain is people are tired of taking pills. Your unique solution is that we offer traditional Chinese medical treatments and state-of-the-art therapies for the relief of chronic pain. Okay, so hopefully you guys are starting to see this process forming and that you can see this forming in your own, for yourself. Okay. Now, the third step of crafting your core message is to show them what's possible, which is clearly explaining to them and how your prospect will feel after you help them solve their problem or their pain. Okay, so now putting all of this together, this is the point in a conversation where you've introduced the problem to potential customers and you presented them with a unique solution that only you have to offer. And now it's time to hit that home run and describe to them the positive results of what their life will look like at the end after they come see you. And this is the point where you will let people know that, we'll tap into what they are really looking for when they come see you. Okay. So going back to the Ironman one, you know how Ironman athletes and marathon runners often have knee pain and hip pain that keeps them from running in a race? Well, we do a full evaluation and treat their injuries with massage and acupuncture, right? That is your unique solution that you're expressing. And here is the step 3, which is what their life will look like afterwards. So we offer these therapies so they can go out and win their next race and feel great. Okay, that's it. I mean, you want them to go out and win their next race and feel great. That's why you do this whole thing. So so going back to here, with the examples that I've been sharing with you, is the pain is most the acupuncturists, they hate marketing, right? They don't have any idea. The solution is we have a unique line of marketing materials for them. And we do this because so you can connect with more customers, grow your business, and create greater income and make the world a little bit better, right? That is a cool solution that we offer, because you can now focus on what you love doing best, which is helping more people, and growing greater income, because we've got the tools for you. With AccuDownloads, again, you guys aren't great writers, you're not good designers, you're not tech savvy, so we've got a team of professionals to do all this for you, so that you can log in anywhere, anytime, find what you need to attract new patients, keep patients in care, and streamline your marketing efforts. That's our solution. Okay. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell when you deal with creating that. So going back to these examples, too many people struggle with pain and injuries. That's the problem. We provide effective treatment, right? That allows you to perform well in life, sports, and work. That's the solution. And we do this without pills, surgery, and high costs. That's what their life is going to look like afterwards. They won't have to take pills, they won't have to get surgery, and they won't have to pay high costs. Okay. This other one is we offer unique and individualized evaluations and treat injuries, right? That's the problem, right? You treat injuries, and you do all this with Twina, cupping, and acupuncture. That's unique for what you do. So so that our practice members can go out, win their next race, and feel great. And then the other example is people are tired of taking pills, right? That's the problem. And your solution is we offer traditional Chinese medical treatments and state-of-the-art therapies for the relief of chronic pain. And then the way their lives will look afterwards, which is step number 3, is we help people have less pain, more movement, and a better life. That's what's going to help their life be better afterwards. So to sum it up, when you write your core message, you have a problem. You have to identify what your unique solution is and what their reward is going to be, what their customer's life will look like after their pain or their problem is resolved. Okay, this is pretty much it in a nutshell. And simply put, a template that you can work with is practice name, Joey's acupuncture practice, Joe's sports medicine acupuncture practice, provide high quality, professional, and effective healthcare to sports enthusiasts who want to perform at peak, who want to perform at their peak of their experience and avoid injury by offering the state-of-the-art Chinese and Western medical therapies. Okay, so we use this as a template if you'd like. My practice, here's what we do. We provide this unique service to this unique type of person. Because they want to alleviate this type of pain point. And we do this by offering this thing, and this is what their life will look like afterwards. This is a very simple template that you can work with if you so chose to. Okay, so a couple things to ask yourself: is the message that you're communicating helping customers really understand how you can help them survive and thrive? Okay, and can your customers name the main problem that your services solve if you ask them? Okay, So, and then is your core message clear and simple? All right, so this is important. So now that you've made your one-liner or your core message, it's time to share it with the world. And the way to do that is you got a couple things to do to make it easier for yourself is to write it down, right? Everybody you know should understand this. Everybody in your practice should really identify what your core message is, okay? Cut out any jargon or any details, really pare it down, connect any phrases to each other, memorize the key points, make sure there's a what's in it for me scenario that goes on there, and create many different versions for different clients if you are dealing with different, clientele, okay? So a couple things to include is who are you? Where are you located? What do you offer? What are the benefits of working with you that only you can offer people? And how do you provide your offering? And how can more people learn about what you do and what the next steps are? What's the call to action to get people into the practice there? So these are just some ideas to help stimulate you and your thought process as you go through crafting your core message. Okay, so a couple things that's really important about crafting your core message is to make sure you practice it. Everybody, like I said, your practice, your letterhead, once you come up with a really clear and identifiable core message, it should be plastered everywhere. And one of the things that I often see is that when you hit people's websites, when you don't really know what they do, right? Like, and most practitioners have the same problem. It's like when they have their website up there, it's like, I'm an acupuncturist and I do, here are my services: acupuncture, tuina, cupping, gua sha, herbs, blah, blah, blah. And, come try acupuncture and live a pain-free, natural, healthy life. That's all okay, but it's not really crafting your core message based upon your ideal patient, right? Who that person is that you want to communicate to, because it's really important to really get clear on your ideal people. It's important because when you get clear on who your ideal people are, you're casting a very precise pole in the water to attract that particular person, as opposed to a giant net and just spreading it out there and hoping those people will come in or that people will come in, right? When you can really clear around who you want to work with, then you could really narrow all of this down and focus this conversation for yourself. So when you get that down, it's really important to choose 3 messages that you're using which aren't working, and rewrite those messages that to have more impact. So like as you go through this process of crafting your core message, create a bunch of them, a few of them, and then pull them apart and pick them apart and really put them together and rewrite them for yourselves, right? So thank you guys. I appreciate that that you are that you showed up here tonight. I'm just going to stop sharing that. And I appreciate that you joined me for tonight's training. Crafting your core message is a huge piece of really coming up with clarity on your conversation with prospects and patients. And it goes through all of your marketing, not just a conversation that you have with people. It appears, like I said, on your business cards, on your letterhead, and especially on your website. And you can even have t-shirts that suggest what it is that you do with your core message. So let's see, there's a couple of chats that came through. Okay, nope. I had a patient say that she goes on a magic carpet ride. Well, yes, of course, right? I mean, that's what's super cool about the medicine, is it transforms people. But going on a magic carpet ride isn't going to get word of mouth referrals into the practice. So for those of you that really want to grow your practice in 2023 and shift things quite a bit, feel free to reach out to me anytime. You can reach me at jeffrey@acupuncturemediaworks.com. I'm going to just, I'll put that, let me just edit this here and put this over here so you guys can reach me. JEFFERRERI@ACUPUNC. Okay. So
Jeffrey, thank you so much. That was amazing. I took notes. I'm gonna work on my different or changing up my elevator pitch or my one-liner. So that was really cool. Thank you so much for tonight.
absolutely, of course, yeah. And I would say you guys should Google Donald Miller and story brand or one-liner, and there's a 30-minute video out there. And I would encourage you all to watch that video because that really dives into various examples of what a one-liner should be and what several are in different industries. So definitely check that out, come up with a core message. And if you guys come up with a core message and you want some input on it, feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to review your core messages and give you guys some input on that. And again, you could reach me at Jeffrey, JEFFREY at acupuncturemediaworks.com. So thanks again for having me, Fasoma and Natalia and everyone else for showing up.
Thank you for being here, and we will have you again sometime in April. So everyone stay tuned for that.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. So you got the ability to change the world one person, one needle at a time. So get out there, and this world needs more people like you. So just get out there, get clear on your message. And thank you, Paula. I appreciate you for showing up and being here. And all right. Thanks so much, Natalia.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.